Right, okay, then Kira, what is your bad point?
Right. And this is going to sound crazy to folk, right? But I feel like I'm one of the first people that's been on top of this. I talked to Thorin about this last year, right? We need to have a serious conversation about Flakked and his position on HRT, on Heretics,
Okay.
particularly. Okay.
By the way,
Okay.
Peter's a massive
Right.
defender, lover, so
Right.
I want
Okay.
to
So
see where you're coming. Hit me with it.
no,
Hit me
no,
with
no.
it.
Sorry. Okay. So he lives in the perennial space of like there is no expectations on Heretics to do anything. So if he gets the team anywhere, it's like
Okay.
him and oh fuck, I forgot the jungler's name. It's just ejected at my head.
Shio.
Shio. Yeah, thank you. Him and Shio get like all the credit because like oh they're taking these players, all these like rookies. Look what they're doing, right? The problem is like if you actually watch Heretics in the game, right? Eventually you have to justify your performance relative to your platform. And Heretics is actually getting the game into loads and loads of winning positions that then Flakked then fucks up and is not leveraging them. Like, take for example the Yunara game. He literally lost the game by not flashing a bunch of engages. That's just not acceptable if you're a top tier ADC. If that was Han Sama or Upset or Super or Kless, fans would literally be asking for him to be like executed, fucking French Revolution style in the middle of the town centre. But because he's Flakked, it's like, oh well, like it's nothing. And this, and then the next consideration they all give is like, well, he's a big voice on the team. Right. Well, see if you want to be a big voice on the team, which I can understand. By the way, somehow simultaneously, Shield's also a big voice on the team. You know, multiple people can talk. How like that has to be considered against. You need more firepower. You cannot simultaneously right have Flakked who then cannot carry from the positions that you get him to because of his like unreliable like mechanics and execution, and then fill the rest of your spots with like rookie players who then cannot provide the firepower that is needed to execute on the positions that Flakked can provide. And so this is just happening over and over and over again. So Heretics need to decide what type of team they want to be, because if you actually look at their macro, they were outplaying Fnatic all the time. They got the first two games to absolute Kino winning positions. They should have won both of them, and both of the times it was like, holy fucking shit, like Flat was almost as like he couldn't be playing as some of these endgame fights any worse. So this is my problem with like Flat. He's got that like reputation, like the man that sleeps till noon. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know where you move from here, but he isn't living up to the positions he's been given.
So I have to push back on this slightly. Are we not going to give him credit for his Aphelios game?
What? He's a Aphelios game? Like,
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, yeah, he gets credit for a single game, but he blew the other one. So you're 1-1. You're supposed to be 2-0 to be a good player.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Look, I'm not going to defend. I'm not going to defend the first game, right? Heretics should have won the series 2-0.
Yeah.
Or they were in a position to win the series 2-0. I will say though that I mean, Flakked definitely has the capability to carry, but the one thing that Flakked really enables is he enables your support to do whatever he wants on the map. And if you look at this Heretics team, what makes this Heretics team scary, what makes this Heretics team even vaguely competitive, it's that their jungle support are so good, right? And I think that you put Upset on this team and their jungle support aren't going to be as good. Maybe Upset Sten, stomping lane, right? Sten, when he was in ERLs, played with a player called Yoppa. They were like, so when I was watching their VODs in the offseason, like they're some of the best 2v2 laning in the entire ERLs. So maybe Sten can switch and be that hard 2v2 player instead of like playing with his jungler so well. But I mean, come on, man! Like Flakked, look at who he's playing with. He's playing with.
That doesn't make him not press buttons as Xayah. Well, he's literally bot lane as Xayah. A Trundle pillar appears next to him. He goes up in the air, doesn't flash forward with feathers, and kills all of Fnatic. Like, that is Flack's problem. His support player isn't reaching across, punching him in the crotch, and fucking taking his mouse and keyboard off him. Like, they failures of execution, I hold to him. And here's the thing, he's actually been supplied the leads in the platforms. Like, right now, there's not that much data, but this is a point from, like, previous ago as well. Like, where I'm just seeing a lot of mis-execution. Yes, he provides the ability for a style. I 100% agree with you, Peter. And that style is the best part of Heretics. Again, I can 100% agree with you.
Okay, but I just have to ask a question then for this, which is this an issue with Flakked being the primary carry on the team? So do you think that let's say we put Canna on Heretics? then you would be happy with Flakked being on Heretics, right?
Yes, Heretics has got to make a decision with team building because right now, if Flat is your primary fire piece, he does not justify his position of the platform he's being given in terms of the resources that are being allocated to him. In terms of his performance of the allocation of those resources, right? So you need to either make a choice of upgrade the firepower, either you go get humanoid and you stick him in mid lane, or you go get, you know what I mean, theoretical.
Yeah, no, I can see.
I can't pull into tier 2, bro, because I don't watch the fucking that shit.
Sure.
So you could fill them out better than me, but Heretics need to decide what team they want to be because they're going to just be stuck in mediocrity in this team for a long time. And you've got Shio, you've got Stend. I think, mate, these are banging players, mate. These are fucking. This is the what I was told Europe had in tier 2. You know what I mean? And you've really got to leverage that, and you've got to start making decisions quick. You know what I mean? Or you end up in another position where KC ends up with all the talent, Mad end up with all the talent, G2 end up with all the talent.
So, I mean, just my final point on Flakked, which I will say, is that I think there is one. So I think Flakked is making a lot of the macro calls because Shio normally is making. There's different types of shot calling, right? There's snap shot calling and there's structure shot calling, right? So Shio is very good at snap shot calling, which is you say you engage or set up this. Whereas in order for a player to have that freedom, they need structure, right? And Flakked is really, really good at giving that structure. So I'll say that for first thing in Flakked's defense. Second thing, as a primary carry, I concede your point on Flakked. I think Flakked has the ability to definitely be more selfish. And I would say that probably Flakked's best split on Heretics was the one where he played, where they came fourth, where Heretics came fourth with when Evie was top and VTO was mid. And he was demanding resources aggressively, but he was the type of player who, after every game or every scrim where he didn't demand resources, when he should have, some member of the coaching staff had to go to him and be like, "You're not demanding enough resources. It doesn't matter that we won this game. It doesn't matter that VTO, got all of those kills. You need to call for more resources." And, it got to a point where within the team, it was a little bit of a meme where we were we'd stop the game in 25 minutes and we'd be like, "Flakked, you didn't call for this stack wave," So I think this is something you definitely have to be on his back. I think it's possible. I've seen him do it in the past when he was in ERLs because, I coached Flakked as a 16-year-old when he was in ERLs and then went to NA and then when he came back, obviously on Heretics. When I came back, and then obviously he was on Heretics. I would say that the thing about Flakked is he is the type of guy who he's the Oda of AD carry. He wants to sacrifice. He wants to be in the bad matchup. He wants to be 1v2 in lane, going 10 CS down instead of 20 CS down, and letting his support and jungle dominate the map. But sometimes I take your point, which is a good point about Heretics, which is you need firepower sometimes. And I don't think Flakked is incapable of doing it. I think he just doesn't feel comfortable taking that responsibility unless you push him really, really hard for it. And I see that to you because I do think that this Heretics team, their macro is good, their support jungle is good, but sometimes their team fighting is not the best, and sometimes they get very, very far behind in the early game, and they just need somebody on that team to be a bad guy and be come to my lane and take upsets, play around me philosophy and put it on Flakked, do a brain transplant and be "You've got to come bot, you've got to come bot now on this wave, or else there's going to be consequences. There's going to be no bubble tea this afternoon for any of you," or something like this. And then I think then you'll see more of the Flakked that other people see in him. But I concede that this year he's not had to do that. And the construction of the team and the long-term project of the team has allowed him to dodge that. But if Heretics want to take the next step up, they either need to make a change with their carries, specifically mid lane, put a high resource, hyper carry player in mid lane, like a Vitia, or he needs to be more selfish because he can't be as unselfish as he is and have Heretics beat the top 4 teams. They can come 5th, 6th again, but I think that he needs to be more selfish for sure. I agree.
My problem is I definitely agree with Kira. Like, there is that fucking Gordon Ramsay meme thing going on where if, like, Upset did any of this shit, it's like, you fucking donkey, get out the game. But then when Flakked does it, it's like, oh, darling, oh, poor baby, oh, I feel so bad for you. Like, it must really hurt to suck in the game. Like, I know what you mean, Kira. It's like, wait, is this actually a real player, or are we all just saying we like him as a person? Because there's one of them, I understand why we're biased, but like we are evaluating players. And that is one of my problems with Flakked, is that like you notice a lot of the qualities people say he's really good at or better than other people are things that don't actually show on the server. They're like intangible aspects of team building or dynamics within a squad or communication elements. And that, obviously, if you're not someone who's been inside the team, those are really subjective. Like it tends to be if you like the person or the team's winning, you say all those things are the case. Otherwise, you just have to take people's word for it, don't you? So, like on one level, here's the sad thing, Peter. On one level, I do fuck with Flakked as a player. I told people this. Once I actually saw him and Targamas separately, I actually realised more sort of like what he did. And his problem is this. I think we've actually collectively nailed it. The real problem is, notice when Peter went through the whole squad there, he just didn't, until the end, say out loud, the problem is the solo laners aren't good enough, both of them. And that's the issue, right? Because if you actually do have Flakked, we not only already saw it on G2, but it would work on other teams too. If you put him on a team with strong solo laners, then he'd be a really good addition to the squad, especially like aggressive solo laners. Like I would give the analogy, like in an ideal world, obviously this player was much greater, he's Korean, but the analogy for Flakked should be like to try and be the EU Prey, if you know the old school reference, where the idea is, again, you're willing to be have the bad matchup, you're just going to go even in lane, your job is to come with people and play for them, and like you say, don't take too much resources, but do what you can with it, because actually this is where I agree with Kira though, Peter. The real problem is this: when you do have dodgy solo laners or people who don't get ahead in the game or themselves aren't carrying the game, right? The temptation as a coach is going to be just draft strong things. And the problem is, this isn't a player at ADC that I want to just draft the strongest ADC champion in the game and then give him it. I agree with Kira in a way, like he's not the player you're going to load up with your resources if you want to win a match in the LEC. And my issue is, even though you say that like, oh, you can remind it, yeah, but that's the downside is, you know what the absolute super elite, like lunatic mechanical ADCs are like? They're the opposite, mate. They're the ones you're trying to fucking rein in all the time, and you're trying to bring them back on the fucking reel. Like, it's the other way around. I think it's really hard to make a person like that become egotistical, become the guy who wants all the, in a way, become selfish. It's hard. I think it's hard to make players do that if that's not their inclination. And isn't one of the main things people say about this guy is it's all from personality and being level-headed about the game and stuff. Unfortunately, most great ADCs I knew, this is why the extreme example is Forgiven, were none of those things. If anything, sometimes it's a feature, not a bug, that they did. Like, the joke is, people think this is a meme, right? A lot of people have done those jokes, like back in the day, just retired now, when my boy Jensen said, like, haha, I will clap Faker. He didn't really mean that. He just knew it was a funny thing to say. I can tell you right now, when Forgiven thought he was better than Ruler, that was real. Like, he was saying that to me off the camera and on the camera. Like, and he believed it, Peter. That's the worst thing. If you'd have, like, put him in the fucking interrogation, he'd have believed that till his dying breath, even though, by the way, he was wrong. But listen, in a way, what I loved is that he was so wrong. So the problem is, Flakked isn't that guy. Come on. So it's all right. He had a bad week. It's all good.
Sure. I mean, but what I say about Flakked, though, is you can see this in the game, and I think this is the point which Kira is going on, right? Which is that this is a guy who, when he sees his solo laners are suffering, his instinct is not give me resources I will carry. It's let me suffer, let me sacrifice even more. Let me like, you know, I'm already living in rags. You know, let me have like no clothes at all. You know, so that
I don't need a Christian. I need a pagan fucking berserker Viking in the bot lane, bro. Like, I don't need some guy jumping in Joan of Arc's fucking pyre and burning with her. I need a raider, bro, going across the English Channel. Like, roll, boys, roll. Let's go.
Remove the civilization. You know, bring in the Forgiven. You know, whip the rookies into shape. Literally. I mean, sure, but to me, I think that the way Heretics are now, they can't compete for Worlds. But if we're having this conversation in one split, like from now, because next year, obviously, if you do this, if you basically they haven't quite sacrificed the year because they're kind of ahead on schedule, but it looked like they were if you like have a development year, your second year has to be the big one, and I guess that's a decision they have to make in the off season. Obviously, I would go with the hyper carry mid laner. But you know, I could definitely see the argument.
Peter, in spite of everything we just said, you don't have to kick Flakked. Like, if you just keep the jungle solo, the young jungle in the bot lane, that's the basis of a pretty good team, mate. If you can get, and by the way, of all the talents to pick up solo laners from the RLs, you can get that all day long. Like, no, I know what you mean. If you use this as the blueprint, this could be the jumping off point for next year. True. Right, go on then. What is your bad point?
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.